Today, I have Kesab Simkata, the environmental manager at Lehigh Hanson, with me to discuss some of the things that we have laid out for the conversation. Very excited to begin. Just a brief introduction. My name's Sarah. I'm a communication specialist at Mapistry, and I'll be your host for today. So if you have any questions for me or Kesab at the end, we will be polling all those in the question panel on the Control GoToWebinar screen. So we'll answer your questions as they come up, and definitely at the end we'll hold time for those. Brief introduction about Mapistry for those of you who might be new on the call today. We're an environmental and safety compliance platform. We're on the software side for industrial facilities. Mapistry provides transparency, promotes collaboration, ensures efficiency, and creates accountability for compliance obligations within the industrial sector. We're a data-driven platform that helps companies monitor, analyze, and track all of their environmental compliance needs in one place. So we'll definitely get to that today, talking about stormwater, hazardous materials, SPCC, wastewater, air compliance. We're able to pool all that together in Mapistry, as well as health and safety data. Whether it's tracking sample results, inspections, or annual reporting, Mapistry is able to provide one platform for it all. So very excited to bring in experts onto the Coffee and Compliance series. I'll let Kesab introduce himself. So excited to have you this Tuesday. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me. My name is Kesab Simkata. I'm the area environmental manager for Lehigh Hanson for the South region, and I'm just happy to be here today.
Yeah, thank you so much. We were chatting just before the call how you manage a lot of different states in the region. Would you mind listing them off again in the southern part of the U.S.?
Sure. Yes. So basically, I've got sites over four states: Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas. And all in all, there are over 12 to 15 active sites, and then 10 inactive sites. So, but there are a lot of sites in Texas, and then a handful of sites in Oklahoma, Arkansas, and there's one site in terminal in Louisiana.
Yeah, which is just a lot to manage. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come speak with us about environmental and sustainability excellence. We really appreciate it. Now, would you mind telling us, Kesab, how you got to this current role? Just a little bit about your background, how you got interested in environmental management, and what led you to working at Lehigh Hanson?
Sure. So, I graduated in 2008 with an environmental degree, master's in environmental, and so I started out as a consultant, and for I think 7 to 8 years in my career, I've spent consulting. Mostly, I started as an air consultant, so air dispersion modeling, air permitting, and all that. So in 2010-11, I moved out west into Reno, Nevada, where I got the opportunity to actually consult for the gold mining industry, and that's where I got a lot of my mining, experience, permitting, and compliance experience. And I actually ended up working at Barrick Gold, which is one of largest gold mining companies. And I spend a lot of time there. At 4 years working for Barrick at their mines in Elko, Nevada. So, and then just decided to move to Texas in 2020, and and now working for Lehigh Hanson. So I think the mining experience that I have, I think that's what got me here working for Lehigh Hanson today. It's again, quarries, sand and gravel, and gold mining. It's all mining related companies. So I think that experience actually got me here. So.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense having that transition go over. And apologies, there's a leaf blower outside. We're still working from home. It looks like you are too. How are you able to manage all these different sites while working at home. Are you able to share a little bit about that?
Yes. So, there's a lot of travel involved, obviously. Uh, you know, um, I've got sites in Houston, and then I've got sites in Davis, Oklahoma. So if I were to make a straight shot, it's like what 700, 800 miles, So, but I don't do that. That's a lot of driving. I try to go to sites like get like when I go to San Antonio area, I like to cover sites over there. Yes, my wife and I have two kids, and working from home, it's a challenge. But I think at the same time, I think this has actually worked really good for me because I'm not that far from my office, just 15 minutes, and I go to office when I need to, but then I can work from home when I'm not at sites, and I spend a lot of time at sites, so a lot of windshield, you know, time, um, but it's I think the COVID actually hasn't stopped me from going to office or work or going to the sites. We have protocol in place when we go to the site, COVID protocol that we strictly follow, and I think it's just been all right. I mean, people ask me questions, hey, how are you able to go to site, work from home? And I'm like, well, you know, I guess it hasn't stopped me. I go to office if I need to, I work from home if I need to, and I go to sites if I have to.
Yeah, with the proper health and safety measures in place, we've noticed that a lot of businesses are able to continue just business as usual, which is amazing. As you're visiting all the different sites, I'm sure it changes throughout the year. But do you have some top environmental compliance priorities that you're able to address while on site, or just like from a regulatory standpoint, what are the key things that are most important to you kind of covering for the different sites?
Yeah, for a lot of sites in Texas, I think stormwater compliance, those monthly inspections and quarterly inspections, they're really important to us. And again, um, mm, I think that's one of the main topics that I've been working on with my sites, and I think Mapestry using Mapestry has been a tremendous help. So I think stormwater is definitely one of the main issues that we're addressing. Um, we do have air permits for our sites as well, but they're not like Title V air permits or big or major source air permits. So, but we're using Mapestry for that as well. So yes, I think for all my sites, stormwater compliance is really important, and I think Mapestry has been a tremendous help to achieve that.
Oh, that's great news. I know stormwater is obviously very important everywhere, but when you have different states consolidating around the Gulf of Mexico, for instance, or just near any waterways, it's really important to focus on those environmental standards. Uh, from a sustainability standpoint, is stormwater a big focus within your sustainability goals in terms of creating a company that is doing positive things for the environment? I know that's challenging as a mining company, but how do those kind of interrelate?
Basically, I think I'm going to give a little bit of big picture here regarding the sustainability commitments. So Heidelberg Cement, that's our parent company, and the company, we have our targets, basically the sustainability commitments 2030, and we've got our targets that we're working on. As a company, as a large corporation, and there's CO2 emissions, and there's water, and there's land use, and there's community relations and all that. So I think the water is so what we're trying to do here is, I can give an example of where we're using Mapestry in our sustainability targets, is like tracking our groundwater uses. So I mean, we were tracking using like some simple tool like Excel or things like that. But now with Mapestry, we're actually incorporating that, in Mapestry. And the groundwater uses or the water uses or any kind of digitizing the meters, so it can so we don't we can get those data into Mapestry or things like that. So yes, we are working on those commitments, those targets, sustainability commitments, and I think we just started with Mapestry mm, in August. So I think we're still going through that trial phase, internally, and we're basically going through the 3 month trial and see how this is going to help. But to answer your question, yes, I think Mapestry has become one of the tools to help us to achieve our sustainability commitments.
That's wonderful. In terms of, groundwater monitoring, is it more what you're pulling from groundwater or how you're mitigating what might be going into the groundwater?
So I think right now, we are basic monitoring our uses. So
Mhm.
basically what we're extracting, but what goes into groundwater, uh, we do have mitigation measures, and we always, and as part of, I think, stormwater management and any water management at our sites, we have, we have those, like, one of our sites on, Edwards Aquifer Recharge Zone. We always had mitigation measures and systems in place to prevent any kind of groundwater contamination. So we have those in place. But I think as a tool right now, I think we're starting out as a tracking tool, tracking uses and monitoring uses, and yeah, potentially use that data to make those informed decisions to achieve our sustainability commitment goals.
Understood. Yeah, that was going to be kind of my follow-up question, which obviously you guys started on with the platform in August. But how do you envision assembling that data into your sustainability goals, using graphs and charts, and I suppose just being able to track it over time to prove out that you're working towards the metrics that you set for yourselves?
Mhm.
Go
Yeah, we have, I think, we are working on those commitments, and we have a matrix. I don't think I have the complete answer for you right now, what that's gonna look like in terms of different data, what that data set gonna look like, or what that the graphs, or what that actual um, um, you know uh, matrix gonna look like to I don't have that detail, but I think, like I said earlier, we're at an initial phase where we are collecting those data to make those decisions in near future. I hope that answered your question.
No, that definitely does. And I think that's the best you can know at this point, with just starting off. And I think data really makes the most sense when you have, a year to look at, or at least a few months, which is amazing that you're kind of coming up on this 3 month point. Are you able to share what the, main challenges were that drove your team to adopt like a digital initiative with Mapestry?
I think, so it's a combination of my past experience, like, again, working at the gold mines, managing Title V air permits and stormwater and wastewater plant on wastewater treatment plant on site, and all those things. A lot of paperwork and missing missing compliance, targets and getting NOVs, that's no fun, So, I have some experience in digitizing, if you will, these permits and registrations and basically the compliance tracking system. And so when I came to Lehigh Hanson, I saw that opportunity there, that we needed to do something in terms of compliance tracking, digitizing and you know we don't want any compliance gap, and so I think that's where I had that discussion with my management and basically like, hey, I think there's opportunity that we can do something better. And so it's really good that my management basically said, yeah, go look for any opportunities out there, any platforms out there that we can utilize. And so, it, I'm really happy that we looked into a few options and found Mapestry. Mapestry, again, obviously one of the tools that we're using. And so I think basically we saw that gap in there, we addressed it, and here we are, we're using Mapestry as one of our tools.
Oh, that's great. It's a wonderful story to hear. And that's wonderful your management was open and receptive to it. I think the last year in pandemic, with everyone going digital, people are more keen to be open to those options. How was it working with the teams? I mean, you were relatively new to the Lehigh Hanson team as a manager. Was it able to, you know, convince your workers and the folks on site to adopt other digital initiatives? I know it's probably a great tool for you, but how was it for the rest of your team?
I think it was like starting from the get-go. It was really easy. I mean, work with Mapestry folks. You guys were very helpful. I mean, Maya was my point of contact, and she was tremendous. And Matthew, Ryan, all of you guys, you were very helpful. Now on our side, I, the plant managers and the folks who were actually doing the environmental compliance work, they were actually excited to hear that, oh, we're going to have something we're calling one-stop shop for environmental. That was my, I think, like, um, what do you call it? The kind of like a slogan, one-stop shop environmental. We want that. We need that. And
Mm.
so when I was at different sites, that's what I was basically, sharing them that, hey, how cool it would be to have a one-stop shop environmental and everything. We have like a phone app to do our inspections, and we have everything at one place, all the inspections and permits and all the compliance records in one place. How cool would that be? And I think when we roll out Mapestry, I think they saw that. They're like, oh yeah, this looks like one-stop shop, So, and I think everybody was very excited, and they've been using it. So we're into the third month. So this is, yeah, October. So I think we're at a point where we're going to actually look at how did it go for 3 months. But I think
Yeah.
so far it's been good. My folks at sites, they've been asking questions about, hey, how to use this, or where to enter this data, fill out the form, and they've been asking me questions, and they're very excited about using the phone app. And we have a wastewater permit at one of the sites, and one of the things that we're looking forward to is be able to use that wastewater form, monitoring form on the phone app. We don't, Mapestry doesn't have that yet, but we're very excited to looking forward to have that. I think you guys have plans to incorporate that sometime during Q4. So, but overall, I think it's coming along pretty good. So I think it was well received, and so far so good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, the phone inspections on your phone kind of pre-built based off of what you already have to do. Um, I think is a game changer for a lot of on-site folks. I was doing some research the other day. 97% of Americans have smartphones, not just a
Mhm.
cell phone, like smartphones. So that's not really an issue anymore in terms of digitizing. It's really user adoption, and that's a wonderful to get that feedback that your team is excited about that. And yeah, another thing about Mapestry is they're always building out new features based on what our customers tell us they want and what they need. So the wastewater, I hope it comes out in Q4, and I hope it works for you guys. We did have a question come in, I think that ties into kind of what you were talking about, Kitab. Someone asked, can we see how you use the actual software? And we can certainly do an offline demo for anyone who's interested in seeing it. But would you be able to describe a bit how your team uses the software, like other than the digital inspections, what else you use? Do you use like stormwater sampling tracking? Do you use tasks, reminders? Can you list off a few of the other tools that you use within the software?
Yes. So, well, obviously there are reminders like the monthly inspection reminders, the quarterly inspection reminders. So we have stormwater, wastewater, groundwater usage tracking, air permit. I think those are, and I think our APO, our aggregate production operation permits. So we have all those permits in there. So obviously there are permit renewal or expiration reminders, renewal reminders, and for any basically all the inspections, stormwater, air, waste, we have reminders for everything. And also, Map actually has those reminders built in. And if we made a mistake, let's say, like there, I'll give you an example for wastewater monitoring. So we have a pH range, that for the samples, and if we didn't have any discharge or didn't collect any samples, then we would put 0, right? So, and then we would put 0 in pH, but Mapestry thinks that that's out of range, and it gave us an error message, which is obvious, right? So we went in there and fixed it, because if there's no discharge, there shouldn't be any pH, and if there is discharge, then we would put in the pH, right? So yeah, I think those error messages, in Mapestry you can actually go in there and you check those boxes, for the alerts that you can get. Like if there's going to be a rain event at one of my sites, I can go in there and check that box, and it will give me a rain alert, or to everybody who has access to that, and so that that you're ready for your stormwater quarterly inspection after that rain event.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. I think those, it's you can go in there and customize, for any alerts you want, for any permits you have.
Which is so nice when you're managing, more than even 5 sites. I think with the amount of number of sites that you're, you know, monitoring, especially in areas that don't get a lot of rainfall. I know that's really important for California. We need to be really ready with our sampling kits whenever it rains, because we don't get that much rain here, and that's a huge part of industrial environmental practices. So thanks for sharing those. Do you find that, task reminders, like if you have to go do something or you want to ask someone else on site to do something, do you think that has changed your workflow in any way, or is it kind of business as usual, but you just have that digital reminder?
We had a system that used to send reminders, but it wasn't like Mapestry.
Okay.
So I think folks at site, and myself, I've been used to reminders like that, alerts like that. But I think, and the cool thing about Mapestry is we can go in there and you see, there's already alerts just sitting there, for things that you need to complete or overdue. And the other thing that I want to mention is really like about Mapestry is that there's no way that you can actually save or incomplete work. That's what I like about, like, when you're filling out a form, it has to be complete to be able to save it. you know so I mean, there are systems out there where you can actually um, you know partially fill the form, and then you can mark complete and save it. I think that's just that part. And I wanted to share that, is I really like that, is even on your phone, when you're out and doing an inspection, you must sign and complete your form before you save it. Not like a incomplete, partially filled paper. You scan it and then upload it and then mark it complete. you know
Yeah, no, that's a really interesting thing to flag that no one's ever really emphasized before. But it ensures that you do everything on the form, that you're not pencil whipping through. And yeah, the fact that Mapestry is a smart system that can kind of flag errors, or not let you submit until it's complete, is probably really nice on a management side, so that you're getting everything already finished. With notes for corrections and whatnot. Does your team use the notes for, like, if they find an error on site? Are they able to go in and kind of use the notes and use the framework for that communication?
I think they have, and along with the photo and movie clip. I mean, you can actually take photos of the, let's say, the stormwater outfalls. You go out there, and let's say it rained last night, but then when you go out there, you would think that there would be discharge, but if there's no discharge, and but then you know just to have a good evidence of that actually there was no discharge, you can actually take a picture or write a note, and then save it. I think that's another really good thing to have. Versus like, oh, no, I didn't see anything, no discharge, but then there's no record of no evidence that there was actually no discharge. So I think the notes, the photo, the fact that you can upload photos uh, for every inspection, yeah, and our folks have been using those.
Great. That's wonderful, especially with the photos. I think that's probably a really nice game changer. We did have a question come in. I know we're rolling up to the last few minutes here, but have you seen an impact with your team, just based on the company's efficiency? The question was, how much has Mapestry raised your company's efficiency? But of course, that might be hard to track if it's only been a few months. But have you seen that impact yet?
Um, I don't have a number, haven't measured that yet. So, but like I said earlier, the rollout was really good. People liked it, and they started using it right away. And and we're in like mid-October, so they've completed all the inspection in Mapestry for August and September, and they had some questions in August. I had no question in September. So I think that means they now know what to do, and I think that's a sign of improved efficiency. You know, and
Yeah.
that's how I'm measuring right now.
Sure.
Um, and I think end of October, early November, we will be actually discussing about uh, if it actually improved or not. Right now, we're only using it for a handful of sites. So yeah, I think that's all I can say right now. But yeah, I don't have exact number of the percentage, but yeah, I would like to say that it has improved.